Good evening. Welcome to tonight's Board of Zoning Appeals for August the 13th, 2025. We call the roll, please.
Kelly Cruz Nicholson.
Here.
Jeff Cook.
Here.
Sayward Salazar.
Here.
Josh Emhoff.
Here.
And I would like to welcome Josh Emhoff to the Board of Zoning Appeals as our newest member tonight, his first meeting, so everybody be easy on him. If you would, please stand and cite the pledge with me. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. In our packets, we got the minutes for last month's meeting on July the 9th. There's no changes, corrections, or additions. I'll entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second?
A motion and a second to approve the minutes from 7/9/25. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Do we have proof of publication for tonight's meeting?
Yes, thank you. This notice was published in advance. It states the time, place, date, and items on the agenda for tonight's public hearing. I would ask the BZA to make a motion to accept the proof of publication.
I'll make a motion to accept the proof of publication.
No, second?
Motion and a second to approve proof of publication. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
New business, we're going to go back and revisit BZA 9-2025. Mr. Taramino, you are here. If you would, come to the mic and state your name and address for the record, please.
Yeah, my name is Ken Taramino, the owner of Richmond Pools and Spas, located at 800 Northwest 5th Street in Richmond.
So, last month, we had a lively discussion, and we kind of gave you some homework assignment to come back and with us. Has that been completed?
Yeah, I went over and I measured the whole area. It works out right there in that corner where the white pickup truck is. It doesn't only block maybe a third of the door, the bay door goes off. I called the fire department. Fire department said they had no problem with it there. I called the police department. They didn't show up. I thought maybe they showed up and looked at it later. I'm not aware. They might have been busy or something like that. And what we're gonna put up is an 18-foot round pool, no ladder to get in and out of it, just a 6-foot fence around it. It'll be hooked up to a filter and stuff just for display so people can see the pool. I'll keep the ladder inside and they can see it inside the store. And during non-business hours, the fence will be locked and nobody will be able to access it.
We talked about putting a taller fence up, too. We talked about putting a taller fence up.
6 foot, yeah, 6-foot fence all the way around it, and that won't be a problem. It actually, I got it sketched for 5 feet off the property line to the north, 5 feet off the building. It fits right in there in the corner, and I'm gonna corner back right to the building, not to the garage door. I'll corner back to the garage door of the fence, and I'll still have full access to that door, as a matter of fact, right there. That's not a spot that I've used often right there. I parked a truck and trailer in that spot once in a while, but that's it. We're not gonna put it up till the spring, of course. The season's over, there's no sense in putting it up now.
There was some discussion about the Jersey barriers that were put in place that kind of blocked the south driveway a little bit.
Is that the ones on Indiana Avenue?
Yes, sir.
There wasn't any, really, nobody's concerned about that, the fire department or the police department.
Okay.
They're there because people fly through the parking lot and like to cut that corner, basically. I've caught cars probably going 20, 30 mile an hour through the parking lot, cutting that corner on Indiana Avenue, just, you know.
Any questions of the petitioner?
I don't have any questions.
Okay, we'll reopen you can have a seat. We'll reopen public hearing for anyone that wants to make a public comment for or against this petition. If you would please take a seat, sir, so Officer Stevens can come up and
Good late afternoon, early evening to the board. I'm Aaron Stevens. I'm the Administrative Resource Officer of the Richmond Police Department. Having served for 39 and a half years, I will now be representing the Richmond Police Department for the time being in the capacity in coming before this body. In regards to this request and this application, I just recently, a half hour ago, had gone through there to look at it again. I've been through, along with Sergeant Julia Ridgway, twice in the last week to look at it so I could see for myself what the concerns were. I share her concern as well as some of the findings in regards to the safety factors if the pool was to go up. I have my personal feelings as if there were a nice privacy fence enclosing that entire lot, it may make it a safer location for that. But under the circumstances that are presented to me by Sergeant Ridgway and upon my own personal observation, I would feel that it would create a potential safety factor in that area if the swimming pool were to go there, even as a display. The factors of safety to the public, as well as I know that there are children present, and we cannot control, the activities of others. But, in my role is to present, any harm or danger that potentially could come about. And so our findings, our suggestions from the Richmond Police Department are not in favor of the proposal as it stands at this time.
any other questions to Officer Stevens?
No.
Aaron, if you don't mind, can you elaborate on some of your safety concerns?
I travel through there all the time, not living far from there. I see the pedestrian traffic that comes over the bridge. I see the speeders. I see everything else. I see you have a trailer park on the east side of that area. You have a trailer park on the west side of that area. As you can see, I know that there are children present, and based upon my experience with the number of calls of mischief, of damage, vandalism, and potential burglaries in that area, I think that this would be, if it were, and I hope that he somehow is able to do some business, for what he wants. But under the circumstance that we have right now, I see that as a potential for, the people who would have nothing else to do but to go and break in. Hey, there's a swimming pool. As you know, I hate to be flippant about it, but it's 90-some degrees and it's August the 13th. Somebody who can't afford to go to an open pool or a private pool says, hey, let me get my ladder and, at 10 o'clock tonight, let me scale that wall and get in it. And again, I'm looking at this on the potential dangers that it would present to the community and to the neighborhood. I hope that he is successful in the business, but with the placement of this right now, again, I see the potential for more dangers than the positives that it may present.
Thank you. Any other comments or questions?
My question is for the chair. You said that you had suggested a higher fence, and he said 6 foot. 6 foot.
Correct.
Did you suggest higher than that?
No,
Okay. Okay.
I did not. That was, he had, in the original petition, was a 4-foot fence, same as a pool. I suggested that maybe some of the concerns could be alleviated with a taller fence as a written commitment in the past. Is there anybody else wishing to speak in favor or opposition? Hearing and seeing none, we'll close public hearing. I would, for a housekeeping order of business, we do have an even number on the board tonight, so it does have to be a majority to get either a positive or negative outcome on our votes. And we can move to staff report.
Thank you, Mr. President. Kenneth Taramino of Richmond Pools. owner, Kenneth Taramino, agent, locations 800 Northwest Fifth Street in Richmond, requesting a variance of development standards to allow an outdoor display of a swimming pool and to exceed the maximum fence height in the outdoor commercial district. The use is the pools and spa retail. Zoning is outdoor commercial. Lot size 12,283,000.9 square feet. Acreage is 0.282. Zoning in all directions is outdoor commercial. The land use to the north is residential trailer court. To the south is a commercial vacant lot. To the east, commercial car lot. And to the west is a residential trailer court. Article 5.56, outdoor commercial, outdoor display area standards. C1, accessibility. An outdoor display area shall not block any sidewalk, accessibility ramp, or driveway. G, orderliness. Merchandise displayed outdoors shall be arranged and maintained in an orderly fashion as to look professional and organized. Disorderly arrangements and placements shall be considered eyesores and blight and considered a violation of these standards. Article 5.66, outdoor commercial parking standards, B2 and B4. Aisle exits. All parking aisles shall have an outlet or a turnaround. Dead-end parking aisles shall not be permitted. B4 is maneuvering. Parking areas shall be designed to prevent vehicles from maneuvering into the right-of-way. Article 5.29, non-residential fence and wall standards. Front and side yard, fences and walls in the front yards or side yards shall not exceed 4 feet in height and shall be decorative in character. The proposed variance would allow a screened swimming pool display with water to be installed in the front parking lot. On July 30th, 2025, the public hearing was advertised in the Western Wayne News. On July 31st, 2025, 17 adjacent property owners were notified about the variance and the public hearing by mail.
We received 2 responses. Bob Snively, 911 Northwest 5th Street, in favor. Rhonda Christopher, 528 Indiana Avenue, opposed with comment. A swimming pool would be dangerous at the location of 800 Northwest 5th. A pool would hinder vision both entering Northwest 5th and Indiana Avenue. Even with fencing, if there is to be water in the pool, there is a lot of foot traffic in the area. It would be a temptation to try to enter the pool, resulting in an injury or even death.
The planning staff consulted with all city departments and utilities to determine any objections based on public health and safety. Richmond Police Department Traffic Division has raised some safety concerns regarding the proposed parking lot and outdoor display. Given the neighborhood's history of vandalism and high pedestrian activity, a swimming pool could unfortunately become a target for damage. Additionally, RPD expressed concern about the design of the parking lot, noting that having 2 entrances on Northwest 5th Street and another one on the Indiana Avenue side poses a safety risk. Staff recommends denying the petition to allow a 15-foot swimming pool to be built in an outdoor display, as an outdoor display in the outdoor commercial zoning district. Article 5.56 C1, Article 5.56 B2, Article 5.66 B4, Article 5.29A1. The approval of the variance will be injurious to the public health, safety, morals, and general welfare of the community because the proposed outdoor display / swimming pool will be 15 foot in diameter and 4 foot in height and will contain water. The outdoor display will have a 6-foot fence with an additional 2-foot buffer surrounding it. Such a display could become an attractive nuisance, potentially drawing unsupervised children and adults to the property, especially after hours when the property is unsupervised. The presence of water in a publicly accessible outdoor area could produce a catastrophic outcome due to the proximity of the property's entrance and the risk of being hit by a vehicle. According to its definition in Article 11, a swimming pool must be used for recreational purposes. Therefore, because the proposed pool is a display of inventory, it is not technically a swimming pool based on the strict definition outlined in the UDO. Nevertheless, the same definition, along with the UDO's General Accessory Structure Standards in Article 5.04A7, states that a swimming pool shall be considered an accessory structure, Article 11, and shall meet the regulations within the UDO's accessory structure standards, Articles 504 through 514, which prohibute such structures to be located in a front yard. It's planning staff's belief that these provisions related to swimming pools were included as a matter of both aesthetics and safety and should apply to the subject swimming pool, even if its intended function is not recreational. Further, as of August 6th, 2025, planning staff has not seen design plans for this parking lot, which is currently unstriped. The lot's intended ingress-egress points are currently unclear, as are its future marked parking spaces, so we cannot at this time determine how a swimming pool located in the parking lot might impact the ability of future vehicles to safely maneuver the lot. Number 2, the uses and value of the area adjacent to the property included in the variance will be affected in a substantially adverse manner because the outdoor commercial developmental standards require lots to be at least 25,000 square feet. This particular property has a lot size of 12,283 square feet and situated on a corner lot, which technically has 2 front yards with 40 feet setbacks for primary structures. Adding an accessory structure such as a swimming pool to the front yard parking lot expands the lot's nonconformity and could potentially be perceived negatively by those passing by. Number 3, the strict application of the terms of the ordinance will result in practical difficulties in the use of the property because the strict application of the ordinance drastically reduces the property's ability to have any kind of outdoor display, as the lot is less than half of the minimum lot size in the outdoor district. We have 1 written commitment. If approved, the swimming pool must adhere to all of the screening and safety standards that we require for a typical residential or commercial swimming pool. And I'd be happy to answer your questions.
Questions of the staff?
With that new position, is there an entry and an exit to that parking lot, or no? There's just one?
Yeah, the whole parking lot. Where they've got it now.
So with the red line is where you would come into the parking lot?
Yeah,
No?
the pool's gonna be over farther
Okay.
than what is up on that drawing. Pool's actually gonna be over a little bit more this way. It's not gonna block either one of the bay doors.
Okay. But there are,
There's good access, because there's good, I drew a line there, and I've been just checking to see driving. There's plenty of access to go in and out, all around there.
so there's not really an entry or exit because
It's not
if people,
blocking anything.
you just drive over the,
It was
whatever
before because
sidewalk
I
might have
planned
been
on
there at
putting
some
it
point.
up above that red line between there and the building, but now that we moved it over here, it doesn't block anything.
Okay.
And I want to say that those letters
That
that
one
you
doesn't
received
really
are
apply anymore.
from the previous locations, the one lady that disapproved. She was talking about the view. It was there, looking over, trying to pass. And, but there's not gonna be a safe distance. It's right, my camera's right on top of it, right there looking down. And I haven't had any violence, any break-ins, any disturbances at all since I've owned the place and I put the cameras up. People kind of avoid the cameras because they know they're there.
So does Article 5.66 still apply since the location has been moved? Because it's talking about the parking lot.
So I think the part as far as the driving aisle width, I would say yes, because the green here is still an entrance to the property, and
Right.
so that would still apply. I would also, Mr. President, if you don't mind, if I could ask the petitioner, is the diameter of the pool, did you say that it was going to be 18 feet?
It can be 18 or 15, whatever you want. I don't need a big pool there. But there's, even with the fence, there's plenty of access to drive in from the first green line to the north, drive out the second green line to the other one. As far as Indiana Avenue, that's got the pylons now, the blocks now, blocking traffic flow from there, so they don't speed through my parking lot.
I would just note to the board for this, the graphic on the screen right now, our GIS coordinator put this together under the impression that the pool's 15 feet. So if it is in fact 18 feet, there's going to be less of an aisle
15
here.
foot would be fine with me, and it's actually, it's actually gonna make it even smaller than what I drove, you're leaving more access to drive through there.
And
I mean, I drive a 4-door long bed truck, and I can get through there without touching the line of the fence or the pool, and it doesn't block it.
so the minimum width for two-way aisle traffic is 24 feet.
It was like that because of the gas stations, there are people who drive on both sides of the aisle for the pumps. They're no longer there.
There still is, if you would come back to the mic, please. Where the gas pumps were, there's still the housekeeping pad that the pump set on, or has that been demolished?
The pad is still there, I've taken out some of it. It takes a lot of work to get that pad out there. I've got a flagpole sitting on it right now where the old sign was. We just took the old pole down and modified it, made it a flagpole. I like to have a flag in front of my business. I think every business I've ever had, I've put a flagpole up.
So, questions of the staff. The lot size is about half of what is required. So, my question is, regardless of a pool, not a pool, we have nonconformities already to this. So, regardless of the pool, can this lot be used as a legal non-conforming general commercial outdoor advertising area at all?
I think it would be very difficult to have any sort of outdoor display or inventory that doesn't impede the parking lot as it's currently constructed. Just for context, we're currently in the process of looking at this entire corridor to rezone it to no longer be outdoor commercial precisely because of these sorts of issues. He does have a practical difficulty in that it is very difficult for him to use this property in the way that should be permitted in the outdoor commercial district.
So in that redistrict, it would just be general commercial?
Yes.
So if it wasn't a pool and some other outdoor structure, storage shed, that would be non-conforming because it's so close to property lines and setback?
The setbacks are okay. One of the features of the outdoor commercial zoning district is that you can actually be, I think, within 5 feet from the front yard setback. I think it would still be non-conforming though, because the parking lot itself is non-conforming, and so it would still be difficult to have a display and a navigable parking lot.
It makes me go, I do have a dealer's license to sell RVs and stuff there that are soon coming. And I have a sauna displayed out there. That's a display lot. That whole lot is set for display. And, I mean, that was approved through zoning.
That was not approved through zoning.
No, you guys approved me for a dealer's license at that location. And I have a full-fledged dealer's license at that location. For RVs.
We have no zoning permit for this property.
No, I had to get the zoning sign off on it from you. You signed off on it. To get a dealer's license at that location. For the DMV.
So I'm not familiar with signing off on this. If I had, there may have been a form that asked
That was
whether.
a car lot before for many years, okay? I just put RVs to it, because I'm trying to be a recreational lifestyle store. And I'm not gonna carry a lot 4 or 5 out there, but just saying, and I, like I do, and I have that barrel sauna out there, which is displayed. So outdoor display, it would be no different than if I had sheds, because the shed guy down the road has them right up against the road. And he has one place to drive through, just like I would. There is
You have not been, you do not have a zoning permit to have any sort of outdoor display. Anything that I might have signed off on may have been a general, whether or not something is permitted in the outdoor commercial district, but for your specific property, we do.
I don't know what you call it, but you had to sign off so I could get a dealer's license there.
Well, you would not,
It's not a zoning confirmation letter.
No,
It wouldn't be that.
it would just be a.
no.
I don't know what it was, it was something for the DOT. That was zoned out, zoned for a dealer's license.
The zoning is appropriate for RVs,
Yeah.
so that's where your practical difficulty comes in, that the zoning is appropriate,
Yeah.
but your lot is not.
My what?
Your property is not, it's not, it doesn't conform to the standards we would need in order to permit RV sales or really outdoor display of any kind.
That right there is a show of a car lot right there at the
So,
property. that
I'm
I
sorry,
didn't know.
you're going to also have RVs in that parking lot, is your plan?
Yeah,
Okay.
4 or 5, not a lot. One line, a skinny guy line. They're like 10-foot trailers.
Thank you.
I mean, it was an option but, yeah. I was just addressing the point that outdoor display, there's outdoor display there.
I just have a comment that kind of is wrapped around a concern. Can I? share it at
Absolutely.
This time, okay. So my concern is that I work in that area right there. The trailer park area that's right behind you. I go there multiple times a week. And my concern, honestly, is the one, as you pull in that side going into the trailer park, the road is not good. It's not a good road. It's not a nice way to travel back through there is not easy. And then there's the slight road that goes up the little hill that's kind of behind your place where that house is at. Do you know what
Yeah.
I'm talking about? And people speed through there to not get back on Indiana Avenue. And the amount of children, the amount of people that are in need that I see in that area, I mean, honestly, and I was not at the last meeting, so I did miss, okay? But I did read about it, and I've been through there, and honestly, for me, it's a safety hazard all around, because people come down Indiana Avenue from the state hospital, and there's no stop signs, no nothing, they fly down that road.
Yes, they fly down the
Hit the
road.
brakes right there at that stop sign, and it's always a concern to me because of the people that live in that area and the kids that run around in that area who are on the bicycles and running and jumping, and the cars that speed behind just to miss your lot. So
They also come down Williamsburg Pike fast and
on
they cut
this,
through the
yes,
parking lot.
they do.
One day, somebody else ran over my dog, and I said that was it, put them blocks up
Yeah,
there.
they drive quite quickly, but this is how I see, because I've been there so many times. The cars that are on the side are a little bit of an obstruction when you're coming up to Northwest Fifth Street. Sorry, like, even if there was a fence there, like, it's a little bit of an obstruction. Then you're talking about coming on the other side where you're gonna be putting a pool at, and there's a pool with a fence that's 6 feet tall, and,
That's not gonna obstruct anything as the traffic-wise at all. If coming out of the trailer park, or it's not gonna affect their view looking down the road either way. It's far enough back, it's almost up against the building, and it,
you said it's gonna be where that white truck is at, right?
yeah, and it's gonna be all close to the building. And the truck is actually bigger than the pool. Right there.
Yeah.
It stops, so you can still come in that way, and when you come out to the road here and look, because that's a little bit of a slope,
Yeah,
yeah, it's not gonna block any view there at all. And west of it won't block any view. No. Absolutely no view at all.
okay.
Worst case scenario, it might block the neighbor across the street at the trailer park that keeps an eye on the parking lot for me. He might not be able to see everything when he's looking through it, but.
Thank you. I believe Officer Stevens has another question, comment.
Yeah, the only thing I wanted to say, he said something about a fence all the way around the property would be better, but I don't see what the difference is of having it around the pool or around the whole property.
Okay.
That's how I feel.
At approximately 4:45 this afternoon, I sat in that area across the street for about 15 to 20 minutes monitoring the speed of traffic coming down there to see what type of obstruction there may be. My bigger concern in regards to that entire lot, as your conversation has gone beyond just the pool, is, the ordinance that may pertain to the lot usage itself. My bigger concern that I would have at this very moment would be on your screen where in the lower corner of that lot, the corner of Indiana Avenue and Northwest Fifth Street, there currently is a structure that is on display there that does obstruct the view of traffic for anything southbound on Northwest Fifth Street. As I watched as every car, every vehicle and truck that went through that intersection that was eastbound on Indiana Avenue had to exceed what would be the stop line to go out because that structure that he has posted there right now obstructs completely the view coming out. My concern, speed versus vehicle having to pull out a little further, the potential for additional crashes or something in that area is of a great concern. We go back to the safety factor of the area.
Thank you.
I gotta reiterate on that.
No, I think we have enough information, and if there are no more questions to the staff about the pool and what is in front of us tonight, we can move forward with our next steps. Is there any more questions to staff?
I don't have any more
No
questions.
questions.
Hearing no more questions to staff, I'm open for someone to make a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve BZA 9/2025 based on the finding of fact with one written commitment.
Second.
Thank you.
I keep forgetting. It's okay.
So we have a motion and a second to approve BZA 9-2025 based on the finding of facts and the one written commitment. If you would please call the roll.
Kelly Cruz Nicholson,
No.
Jeff Cook,
No.
Sayward Salazar,
No.
Josh Imhoff.
No.
Sorry, sir, we did not pass.
I do need to let him know that there is a 30-day appeal process in accordance with Indiana Code 3674. There would be a 30-day appeal process to appeal to the county courts.
Our next order of business on the agenda is BZA 17, petition of Edison and Sarah Perdomo. Ooh, look at that. If you would come forward and tell us about your petition, please.
Sure. Hello, my name's Sarah Perdomo, and we just purchased a house located at 528 South 14th Street here in Richmond. I am trying to open up a licensed in-home daycare center. We have a home, but I don't feel it's safe for children to be in a home with all of my belongings plus, 16 children at max, which the state allows. So we purchased this wonderful home, and I am hoping that we can be granted the variance of use. I have been a mother. I have worked in preschools. I work at an HBCU where I have worked with students. So I've worked with the public my whole life. Talked to parents. I have talked to students. I have, from little to big, they call the young adults. That is my passion. I like, children. I like to watch them grow. And whenever we got hit hard at our Central State University where people were being let go, I asked my husband, I said, I want to stay home with our daughter. And so we purchased the home, and with the help of Joanne, she gave me the forms to fill out, and here we are.
Thank you. Questions to the petition? So I have one question.
Yes.
And I just want clarification. So the proposed location of the daycare, you guys will also live there?
No,
Okay.
it will be a 7 to 5 and 5 to 11. I will be running 2 shifts because not everybody works 9 to 5.
Sure.
Richmond needs people who can work in the community, and I am about taking that voucher program, helping our people get back in the community. It will help the world all around, especially our city.
Any other questions of the petitioner?
President,
Yes.
you said how many children?
At max, it will be 16 when I become a Class 2. I will start as a Class 1 with 12. After a year, then I will ask for a 16, max per shift.
And then how many employees per shift?
It based on a ratio. So infants, kind of, I call it kill the ratio because you have to have more staffing versus, so it's going to be 2 for like night shift, depending on, or 3, depending on that chart that we have to go by. It is very monitored. Licensing is very, very strict on what they allow and what they don't allow. You have to have smoke detectors that are hardwired. We had to have a whole bunch of stuff. And we're having glass doors put in the back so it's easy access to the backyard. Because as of right now, where it says I don't like it, you have to go through the kitchen. And I just don't feel that's safe for children. So we're having a contractor come in, actually next week, and put in a patio door to go through the back. So there will be a front door, back door, side door if needed, for emergencies only. Hopefully there isn't any. There will be, like I said, hardwired smoke detectors, fire extinguishers in every room that children will be in. We will be having the fire blankets for the children, in case there's an emergency. I have a 2-year-old. I want, these babies safe.
Any other questions to the petitioner?
I don't have any questions.
No, I don't have any.
Thank you.
Thank you.
With that, we'll open it up to public hearing. And hearing or seeing none, we will close public hearing and hear the staff report.
Edison and Sarah Perdomo, owners and agents, 528 South 14th Street in Richmond, requesting a variance of use to allow a licensed in-home daycare to operate in the high-density single-family R3 district. The use is single-family dwelling. The zoning is R3. Lot size is 7,100.28 square feet. Acreage is 0.163. The zoning to the north, south, and east is high-density R3. To the west is general commercial. The land use in all directions is residential single-family. Article 2.11, R3 permitted uses. The proposed use is not permitted, according to the UDO. The proposed variance would allow a licensed in-home daycare to operate. According to the UDO, a child care home is a permitted Type 2 business with a special exception in the R3 zoning district. This designation requires that the primary owner-operator reside in the dwelling where the home business is located. Additionally, such a facility is permitted to have one employee who does not reside in the dwelling unit where the home business is located. The definition of a child care home, according to our UDO, is a residence used by the proprietor for full-time living and for providing non-overnight care, supervision, and protection of children in private residences, which is ancillary to the primary use as residential. A residential structure in which at least 6 children, not including children for whom the provider is parent, step-parent, guardian, custodian, or other relative, at any time receive child care from provider, A, while unattended by a parent, legal guardian, or custodian, B, for regular compensation, and C, for more than 4 hours, but less than 24 hours in each of 10 consecutive days per year, excluding intervening Saturdays, Sundays, and holidays. A house not used by the proprietor for full-time living shall not qualify as a child care home. The property has never been granted a variance before. On June 30th, 2025, the public hearing was advertised in the Western Wayne News. On June 31st, 2025, 32 adjacent property owners were notified about the variance and public hearing by mail.
We received 5 responses, 1 in favor, 4 opposed. Amy Bethel, 509 South 14th Street, in favor. Terry and Nancy Pearson, 615 South 13th Street, opposed. Mary Powell, 521 South 14th Street, opposed. Marilyn Adams, 615 South 14th Street. Reason is the lack of parking, opposed. Alexis Carter, 526 South 14th Street, opposed. And reasons for opposition. 1, neighborhood is quiet and low traffic. A daycare would bring daily traffic congestion. 2, increased foot traffic. Noise would disrupt the peaceful character of our street. 3, drop-off, pickup, activity would make it harder for residents to park in front of their own homes. 4, property value could be affected negatively, making it harder to sell my home. 5, a commercial daycare use does not fit the intended purpose of a high-density, single-family residential zone.
A hardship, a difficulty with regards to one's ability to improve land stemming from the application of the development standards of this UDO, which may or may not be subject to relief by means of variance in and of themselves. Self-imposed situations and claims based on a perceived reduction of or restriction on economic gain shall not be considered hardships. Self-imposed situations include the purchase of land with actual or constructive knowledge that for reasons other than physical characteristics of the property, the development standards herein will inhibit the desired improvement. Any improvement initiated in violation of the standards of the UDO, any result of land division requiring variance from the development standards of the UDO in order to render the site buildable. Staff recommends denying the petition to a licensed in-home daycare to operate in the high-density, single-family residential R3 zoning district, Article 2.35, upon these findings of facts. The approval of the variance will not be injurious to the public health, safety, morals, and general welfare of the community because the proposed childcare home will meet or exceed all state and local safety, health, and operational standards, including those for fire safety, staff training, and child-to-caregiver ratios. The property is ideally located on a corner lot, offering easy access for drop-off and pickup and minimizing traffic congestion. Its proximity to main roads and local schools further enhances accessibility and support for working families. The operation will be licensed and regularly inspected, ensuring a safe and nurturing environment of all children. 2, the use and the value of the area adjacent to the property included in the variance will not be affected in a substantially adverse manner because the daycare home will maintain the residential character of the neighborhood. There will be no structural changes or signage that would disrupt the aesthetic or function of the area. The presence of a licensed, well-managed child care facility may even enhance neighborhood desirability by offering a valuable service to local families. Traffic will be limited to standard business hours and managed to avoid disruption. The need for the variance does not arise from a condition peculiar to the property involved because the petitioner notes that the house's corner location, ample parking, and proximity to schools and commercial areas naturally accommodate the logistical needs of a daycare operation that is a safe and convenient environment for both families and staff. However, the property's potential as a daycare does not constitute a unique or peculiar condition that restricts the property to be developed as a residential home. 4, the strict application of the terms of the ordinance will not constitute an unnecessary hardship if applied to the property because, while planning staff acknowledges that denial of the variance would prevent the use of a much-needed community service, there is no established hardship that would prevent the property from being developed in accordance with its permitted uses as a residential home. The petitioner's application makes a case for modifying the code itself to allow non-owner occupied child care centers as a primary use. But as it is currently written, the only primary uses permitted in the R3 district are detached single-family houses and small fair housing facilities, and the current variance request does not demonstrate a hardship that would impede the development of these uses. Number 5, the approval does not interfere substantially with Richmond Rising Community Action Plan because Richmond's future land map identifies this area as being used as central neighborhood moving forward. The proposed use is an in-home care. The proposed use as an in-home care should not disrupt this area's intended future residential use. Also, the property's underlying R3 zoning district will still remain in place. And there are no written commitments. Be happy to answer any questions.
Questions of staff?
So if they lived in the home, we wouldn't be here
We would not
today,
be here.
essentially. Okay. And then what is the big white building?
Mr. Deeds.
Mr. D.
Now, we're talking about the big,
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Mr. Deals, okay.
Is it Mr. Deals? Okay.
That could be dangerous, right?
If you would, please come back up to the mic.
Yeah, this image is actually dated. I'm not too sure when it was taken. But there's actually a privacy fence that extends from the yard all the way to the garage. And so in terms of privacy and quiet, that's one of the things we're looking at. It's a little complex because the policy is written that you have to take possession of the home before you can apply for the variance. And so for us, this is something she's been wanting to do for years. Our child, our 2-year-old, is the way she is today because Sarah has been able to work with her. She knows all her ABCs. She knows her colors. She knows her numbers. I'm a psychologist. I teach at university. And when I look at her from a cognitive perspective, the child is amazing. And I think the only reason she's like that is because of Sarah. One of the biggest things we had to do was leave her child at a daycare. And as an educator, as her being an educator, myself being an educator, it's difficult to leave a child knowing that they're going to be in an environment where they're not going to get you an educational experience that they need. And that's where the problem is. There are child care centers that are great, for example, True Blood or Reed, but these are very expensive. And if you look at the community that we're targeting, which is everyone, it's really inaccessible from the standpoint of finance. And so this is creating an opportunity for people of low income, people of Richmond, to send their children and know that their child is going to get a good foundation of education. I teach college students, and arguably her dealing with children at that age is probably a more difficult process because you're
Yes,
dealing with the foundation of education. And so we took this into account. Since she started Central State, it's always been, I want to come back. I want to raise my child. Why am I going to school? She got her degree her degree in business and is interested in getting a master's in education because the idea is to open up a daycare center at some point, but you have to start somewhere. And unfortunately, the policy is written that you can only have a daycare center if you have a master's degree in education. And so this is an opportunity to, again, start from the beginning, create a foundation, allow my daughter to be raised by her mother, allow my wife to have the opportunity to teach and educate and nurture the children of the community, because that's really what's about. I don't even know if this is going to make any money, but the idea is this an investment on her, is an investment for the children of the community.
I only had one question.
Sure.
For you. And I think that now that I've figured out where it's at, my question was, is the yard fenced? And it is. And that was my big question because of where it's located and the traffic and things like that. But now that I know exactly where it's located, I know where this property's at and it is fenced in. Okay, thank
And
you.
one more thing. One thing that you can see for that image, there's exactly one vehicle on that side of the road. It's always like that. That whole road, that whole side,
Yeah,
it's so the idea of traffic congestion.
that's right.
I mean, we don't live in that area, but it's always a quiet area. It's a perfect area for parking and dropping off and picking up because it doesn't create a problem in terms of traffic.
Okay.
I have a question for the staff. To look at precedents, how many other in-home daycares are there in Richmond that doesn't have someone living in them? I know they exist because I have been to them.
But there's not.
Right,
If that person owns 2 daycares, then yeah.
Yeah,
yeah, okay. So I was just looking for some precedents. Thanks. I have no further questions.
that's it, yeah, I don't have anything.
With that, I'll entertain a motion.
I make a motion, thanks a lot. I make a motion that we approve BZA 17-2025 based on finding of fact and no
Written commitment.
written commitments.
Second?
Have a motion and a second to approve BZA 17-2025 based on the finding of fact and no written commitments. If you would call the roll, please.
Ellie Cruz Nicholson,
Aye.
Jeff Cook,
Aye.
Sayward Salazar,
Aye.
Josh Imhoff.
Aye.
Good luck to you,
Luck.
folks.
Good luck.
You shouldn't make her cry like that.
I cut down trees myself and hundreds of bug bites. Those whole tree line and everything, I make sure for the native bug bites.
And that's part of it too. I think, we're talking about restoration of the area. It is a beautiful home.
Yep. Surprise, I live there.
The filing deadline for today's meeting was on July the 16th, and the filing deadline for next month's September 10th, 2025 hearing is today. Do we have any cases? Awesome, so we get to come back and do this all over again.
Okay.
With that, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn for the evening.
Josh?
I'd like to make a motion to adjourn for this evening.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned. Thank you, folks.
I'm rusty.
I'm amazed.